Hey YouTube, what's going on? I've got a new project to work on, but first kind of let me tell you where I'm coming from on this project. This is a really small bathroom that I'm trimming out, and there's not a lot of places to hide the things that you like to hide in a bathroom. There's nowhere you can hide your Tux medicated pads or your preparation H or anything like that. So we're going to have to address that. The sink base has a little storage underneath it, but not very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a recessed cabinet or a shelf that's going to go in this wall right here. What I'll do is once I get it built, I'll cut out between the two studs. It's going to work perfect. There's a stud here and a stud here, and we'll cut out between the studs. We're going to build something that we can just put back in the wall and attach it to the wall. I haven't decided. I may put a door on it. I don't know. We'll have to see kind of how this build evolves as I get going. But for right now, that's what we're going to have. We're going to have a recessed shelving / cabinet in that wall. So let's go downstairs, start planning this thing out, and start cutting some boards. Something kind of cool about this project is I think I'm going to be able to build the whole thing with just scraps that I've had laying around that I haven't used. We're going to start this one like we start so many others, and we'll start it by just building a face frame. So I need to cipher out the dimensions, and I'll cut some pieces and we'll lay out what's going to be our face frame, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about what we're going to do. Okay, so we have our pieces cut out. This is going to be our face frame. This is what you're going to see on the outside of the wall, and the inside is going to recess back into the wall. Our overall dimension is going to be about 29 by, I don't know, somewhere around 17 3/4. The way this is going to work is, if you can picture us turning this over, and now we're looking at the inside or the back side of the cabinet. This is the part that goes back into the wall. What's going to happen is we're going to cut a dado or a slot around the inside perimeter of this face frame, and we're going to build a box essentially that will make up the interior portion of the cabinet. And once we get the dado cut, we're going to use a piece of 1/2 inch that's going to go down into that slot, and the box will be formed through here, and we will attach it with pocket holes. Okay, to do this, we're going to have to do a little bit of ciphering. We are putting this in a wall that is on 16-inch centers, so that means we have roughly 14.5 inches in the stud cavity itself. We're going to build this to be 14.25. That way we'll have a little room to maneuver it if we need to. Okay, so thinking about that, we want to end up with our box, the outside edge of our box being at 14.25. Okay. Our inside dimension of this face frame is about 12 3/4, maybe a little bit light. On each side of the face frame, we're going to set in 1/4 inch, and then we're going to cut a 1/2 inch slot. So we're taking up 3/4 inch on each side. So if we lay that out, and we take 3/4 inch on each side, we come out to 14.25. A little bit light, but that's okay. So we will hit our dimension just right. And to do that, our overall width is 17 3/4. So I think that's going to work out fine. What we need to do now is go ahead and cut the dados around the perimeter of this face frame. Go ahead and drill our pocket holes, put the face frame together, and then we'll start talking about how we're going to build the box. I went ahead and put a little smidge of glue in the joints. Don't really have to, but just did it for good measure. Okay. Now, we have a nice face frame. Well, we've got our pieces cut out for the sides of the box, and we cut the pieces at 4 1/8. And the reason we did that is because we have the 1/4 inch slot all the way around, and when that piece is pushed all the way in to the slot, that leaves us 3 7/8. That's how much will be going back into the wall. So if you imagine this being flush against the wall, 3 7/8 is how deep this is. And remember, we have 4 inches that we can work with. It's 2x4 framing, so we have 3 1/2 on the 2x4 plus a 1/2 inch on the drywall. So we got 4 inches to play with. So this ought to fit in there really good. Now, what we have to do now is cut these pieces out here. And what's going to happen is right along here. See if you can see this. Right along this edge, we're going to cut a rabbet so that when we lay it together, this piece will slide into place like that, and we can come back on this side and nail it on the little flange that'll be created. So let me measure that out and figure out how much that needs to be. I'll take it over to the router table once I cut it, and cut the rabbet in it, and come back and show you what we have. Okay, we have our end pieces cut out, and you can see the little rabbet on the end. And the way this is going to work is it will go into this slot. You see the lip that hangs over. Now what we'll do when we put it together is we'll put a little glue in that joint and in this joint, push it together, and then come in with a 18 gauge nailer and nail it into place. So that's going to work out. The way the math worked out, the side pieces are 25 1/8, and these two end pieces are 14 1/4. And there's a 1/2 inch rabbet on each side. So that leaves us with a cavity that is, well, it's the 13 1/4 on the inside, like we thought we would have. Now the way that we'll assemble this box is, like I said, we'll come in on these corners and put a little glue in and close it up, and then hit it with an 18 gauge nailer. And then I will have drilled pocket holes probably 3 on the top and bottom and 5 on the sides. And I'll just secure it into this frame and it'll be really strong.